Happy Wednesday. We're here in dreary Wisconsin. We had a whole bunch of rain yesterday, followed by some snow, followed by some rain. It's just been a continued stretch of some gloom, but I'm not going to let that get to me because I'm here to deliver a video, and that's what I do on Wednesdays. And I was trying to think of something to talk about of interest this week, and I've had some conversations recently that kind of spurred the topic. And I think if I were to title this, it would be just sort of embracing who you are, embrace, let your freak flag fly, whatever the heck you want to call it. But I just think about how I've always been a self-professed nerd and kind of into sci-fi, fantasy, that kind of stuff since I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I was a lot more self-conscious about it, even into my teens, 20s, because I don't know, I just let that kind of stuff get to me, and it's just easy to kind of get in your own head about those things. Now at this point in my life, in my late 40s, I really could give a crap what people think about me. And some of the stuff that was like perceived as nerdy or fringe back in the day, like Dungeons and Dragons, is dare I say a little more cool now and more widespread and mainstream. So um, I was ahead of the curve in that regard. But I was just thinking of some of the things I did as a kid that kind of made me who I am today. I didn't do any sports at all. I did a lot. I actually kept to myself a lot. I mean, I had friends, but I would just like to spend days that I wasn't in school reading or playing computer and video games. And I don't know, maybe I've talked about this before, but while that maybe didn't get me out in the world and help with socialization and what would manifest into introversion and stuff like that, it did, I think, help shape who I am creatively because I would sit there hours on end playing, for those of you that remember those Infocom text adventure computer games where it was like reading a book, but you would interact with it and you'd type out what the character should do. And I mean, that expanded my creativity, expanded my vocabulary. I really still think really fondly about those games. I I read books like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when I was a little kid. I read it multiple times. I loved it so much. Probably, I think I was the only person I know my age that was into that. And only people that are familiar with those books will understand what the hell I'm talking about here. But I would do super nerdy things based on the book. Like I'd walk around with a satchel with a towel in it and my copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Did stuff like that. And as my brother and I like to laugh to this day, I don't remember how old I was, maybe in my late teens, early 20s when he met his now wife, and he was describing family members, and he came to me and he's like, "Yeah, Steve, he's different. I don't know. He just likes to sit around and read and play video games." At the time, I was kind of not really, but I was kind of put off by that. It's like, wow, way to sell your brother there. But yeah, that was who I am, and I'm okay with it. And I think everybody out there, whatever you're interested in, if it makes you happy, if it helps shape who you are, if it spurs your creativity, whatever, you should own it and not let other people deter you from the things that give you joy in life. I still have a lot of those same interests. I didn't actually, even though I was super interested in it as a kid, I never played Dungeons and Dragons until my early 20s. And there was a bit of a hiatus in there, but over the last like half decade, I've been playing it again with some of the same group of people I did in my 20s, and we're having a blast. We get together at least once a month playing that. Stuff like that is just to me really awesome. Video games, writing, reading. As I said, if I didn't have those kind of interests, then I didn't foster them and kind of have a family and my parents that supported me like being into stuff like that, I probably wouldn't be here right now talking about writing and all that. And then one last story. I'm not going to mention their name because I don't know if they're cool with that, but a few years ago, somebody that I went to grade school with that I'm connected with on Facebook, and honestly, I don't think I've seen the person in person since grade school, brought up something on social media about how, like, yeah, Steve, I remember you were always kind of like, you just were proud of who you are, and you, like, he brought up like the where like walking around with a towel and stuff, the story I just told. And he's like, that inspired me. I was always artistic, but seeing somebody like you that just kind of owned it and was proud of it helped me get into art, and then I got into being a tattoo artist and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, that story just meant the world to me because it's like that's just inspiration that I was able to give others by just owning who I am. And again, not to just keep rehashing the same point, but to close this one off, that's my lesson to everybody. Like, just be who you are, enjoy what you enjoy, don't let naysayers get to you. And I'm sure one of the biggest things you enjoy are my videos, and keep watching those every week. Keep reading my books, and take care. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.